we'll start off with something I think could very well happen, and that is Lewis Robert getting traded.
Boy.
And I see that happening because Scott Boras is his agent, and the White Sox are not gonna, even though they're controlling him for the next 3 seasons, are not going to, when they might be in a window again, probably pay the money to keep him on the team. So I feel like he's going to be one of the key chips to fall at the trade deadline. What they get for him though is a mystery. It's a mystery because apparently the Sox are asking the world, but
As
you
they
know,
should.
they should. But I mean, he was injured again. He
He's
is
not having
coming
a
off.
great
He's coming off an
great
MVP
season.
season. But now he's like his numbers are getting up there for the amount of games he's played. But it's not that, to your point, it's not that great of a season.
Yeah.
So are you trading someone as a little bit of a what if? I mean, you would think not. You think he's got the tools. We've all seen him on display when he's out on the field. He's a Gold Glover. He can steal bases, but can he stay on the field and have continue like the and build upon the season he had last year for the White Sox? You
Well,
just
that's the
don't
thing.
know.
If they're going to trade him, they needed to trade him this past offseason. That was the peak of his value. I mean,
Yeah,
I guess that's hindsight now, but again, you don't have to trade him right now. So I don't know why Chris Getz would be interested in trading him at the deadline right now, just for all the reasons you pointed out. His
exactly.
value is not to the point, not to its highest point in any reason by any means, and you don't have to do anything. You've got
Exactly.
him under control for how many more years?
I think it's next year and then two more options. So
Yeah, so I'd be shocked if he was traded. I think it'd be a big mistake just because he's not at the peak of his value right now. And what how devastating would that be to have him traded at this point with that much control? I mean, I guess the return would have to be enormous the way I'm viewing trades of Turk Skubal with my Tigers,
yeah,
to get over that. The returns, they're in Turk Skubal, right? His value right now is as high as it could possibly be, where Luis Robert, it's not there right now just because of the health and the lack of production right at the moment, at least. That if he has a strong second half, then I think this offseason could be a perfect time to trade him. I just think right now it makes no sense.
yeah. I mean, I agree. I think with him getting injured and coming back and getting back into the swing of things, um, it doesn't make it's more of an off-season trade or maybe deadline next year trade or something if that's the case. But maybe they will get this unbelievable haul they're looking for. But I just I agree, it just doesn't make any sense. Now, the flip side of this, while it makes sense, at the same time it doesn't make sense to me. Is all the rumors surrounding Garrett Crochet and any pitcher who's having um, an incredible year is especially incredible first half is going to be on the trade rumor list because everyone always needs pitching. And we were talking about the haul for Skubal. When you look at their numbers, it's kind of crazy. Uh, just real quick, like Skubal's got about 10 more innings pitched than Crochet, but 10 less strikeouts than Crochet. Um, Tariq's numbers are better from a whip at 80.88 to Crochet's 0.95.
Yeah, I
Batting,
mean,
yeah, it's nominal. Both of them have only let up.
awesome or
Yeah, it's hilarious. They both let up 10 home runs.
hmm,
30 Crochet's got 36 earned runs to Skubal's 31. I mean, they're right there. 81 hits to 79 hits for Crochet, but he's also pitched 10 less innings, so that would do it. But anyway, so if
there's a
the
big difference though.
the biggest difference is uh, Crochet is under control for an insane, endless amount of time, but is
Oh,
also
I thought
coming.
it was the same. I thought it
No,
was this year plus 2 more years.
no, I don't think so because he doesn't have that much major league service time.
He's got 4 years already. So I think he's done. I think he's been around for a lot longer than you imagine. The biggest difference, why don't you look that up to confirm, but,
I am.
the biggest difference in my mind is they're already shutting down the number of innings that he's gonna be pitching this season. He's not a viable starter going forward, as you and I both talked about, but prior to the season, he's gonna be on an innings limit, and he they just started that last
Well,
week.
that's the White Sox decide that. I mean, doesn't mean someone else has
He's
to.
never pitched more than 78 innings in his entire career. So any team trading for him can assume he's going to be effective in the second half of the season.
I don't
He's just
disagree.
never
I'm
done it.
not disagreeing with you, but I'm just saying that.
That's the only, and this is what I'm saying. That's the huge caveat with Crochet versus Scooble is he's never done it. He's never come close to doing it. And he's never been a starter before. So he's such a wild card. What he does have is control over the next at least 2 years. I don't know if you found that yet, but
It's
um,
floating.
uh, I just don't think he's gonna. You can't guarantee. Well, you can't guarantee anything, but you can't count on him to be a contributor to this postseason, where someone trading for him right now at the trading for pitchers right now at the trade deadline are trying to bolster their efforts for the World Series, where he's already gone. He's already pitched as many innings this year as he's ever pitched in his entire career. So I think there's just no way you could count on him down this stretch. You could be uh, playing the long game and knowing you've got this guy, you're going to protect him this year and then use him the next couple years under control as potentially the best starting pitcher in the majors. But you can't count on him this year. That's the huge difference between Scooble and Crochet at least in my mind.
Yeah, you're right.
That
It is
in
only 2 more years. What the fuck?
Yeah, because I thought it was the identical situation. Like their numbers are the same and their contract situation is the same. The only difference is the numbers of career innings pitched, and especially innings pitched this year.
Well, I just thought because he missed that entire what did
It
Scuba
doesn't
miss that
matter. It's
entire season
he missed
to injury?
he missed parts of 2 seasons, so it doesn't matter. Your service clock starts when it starts. So it Crochet started in 2020, I think. So that's why, and you get 6 years of control, and then I forget how it all works. I just know it's this year and 2 more years after.
Oh,
So
yeah, so that's my bad. But yeah, I think you're right. I think, like, he's a risk for any team.
it's not. I'm just saying it's not a huge detriment. It's just a big difference between he and Scooble, I guess, in the trade market. At least who's trading for him right now. Like when I brought up the Orioles trading for Scooble, they would be trading for him for potentially 3 shots at the World Series because he would be a contributor. They could realistically view him as a contributor to their rotation this year and 2 more years. I just don't think that's the case with anybody trading for Crochet right now. Now in the off season, again, I think that's when if the Godfather offer comes in, which I think it certainly could for Crochet in this off season, I think that's when Getz could make that move. But that that I just again I don't think either of the either Robert or Crochet makes sense for Getz to move at this point for different reasons, I guess. But I think you're waiting for them to be at their peak or their value, and I think that's this off season potentially.
Yeah, it's just, it's crazy because, like, I look at him and if they get the Godfather offer, as we're calling it, like, there's no reason for them not to do it because they need it
Yeah,
almost more than any team we've talked about, pretty much more than any team we talked about today.
yeah, absolutely.
But but at the same time, you look at someone like him and you're like, if you can get him to into into some sort of deal because they've stuck with him through his ups and downs and all that for some sort of extended period of time, he's a guy you build a rotation around. So
Yeah, and that's why Getz is in a good spot with both of them. He doesn't have to do anything. These are not expiring contracts.
yeah,
There's no pressure on him to make a move at this point. There's no expectations out of the fan base that we need to do something right now. Why aren't we getting? Nobody wants to get rid of these guys right now.
yeah.
Uh, it just doesn't have to happen. That's why I don't think it's going to. Just because both on the White Sox side of things and the rest of the league side of things, I think it makes more sense next
Thankful,
year or in this
thank
offseason.
yeah. Thankfully, they got some other things they can get rid of. A lot of other players. You got the
I do.
Fadid has been very good as a starting pitcher this season. He's definitely going
It's
to
helped my
be
fantasy
traded.
team.
He's definitely going to be traded. So, and they should get a pretty decent, not like nothing huge, but some high quality players back, not like
Yeah,
number one
he's just on a
draft pick.
one
Yeah,
year deal coming back from Korea.
yeah, coming back from Korea where they fixed his problems, and they seem to
They
have.
fixed something.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
and
looked
then
great.
you got the probably someone's gonna want the resurgence of Paul DeYoung, power
Yeah,
hitter for the White Sox.
he's
I mean,
he's your best hitter, isn't he?
well, yeah, disgustingly, yes. So that's another option there. The one that I know they're probably going to move him no matter what they get for him, but it's going to be disappointing because of all the potential upside we heard about all these years, and he was part of the rebuild trade. But Kopech will most likely be moved. Thankfully, he pitched an immaculate inning right before the All-Star break, which was shocking to me. But
Yeah.
his only consistency is that he's inconsistent. So
I
uh,
don't as an opposing from an opposing viewpoint, I would not trade for him. I wouldn't if I'm trading for him, I'm in a playoff race right now and I wouldn't trust him in my bullpen. I don't think he's going to help necessarily. Or maybe an opposing GM sees him and says, the White Sox missed this. If we change this, this, and this with his delivery, he'll be fine. Maybe there's institutional arrogance in that way, like, well, we can fix him. Because the tools are there. He
yeah,
has just never put it together consistently. He's a fucking head case.
he
There's
is a head
something
case.
going
Yeah,
on, but the stuff is unreal. He just can't
yeah.
put it together.
No, I agree. So I think there's probably something there. Someone will. I mean, look at fucking Ronaldo Lopez goes to the fucking Braves as an all-star. Doesn't his ERA is like under 2? It's like 1.74.
Yeah,
That's what
he's
we
one of
heard
the best
about.
pitchers in the
He could. The
National League.
Nationals couldn't do it. The White Sox couldn't do it, but suddenly the Braves found it. So
I found something.
yeah, he just needed to get away from Giolito. I think they finally split up, and now
Finally
he's
split
having
him
a
up
rock star year.
like a fucking anchor.
Word Hole Media.